The Stoics didn't see hard times. They saw an opportunity from life. They saw that the universe had opened up a door for them. And on the other side of that door was everything that they had asked for, everything that they had prayed for, and everything that they needed in order to live their dream life. And with the correct training, they could walk right through that door. But what is the correct way of thinking? How did the Stoics take this approach to difficulties? Because right now you're going through difficulties, it feels unbearable. It feels like this weight on your shoulders that you just can't get off, and you just want to get away from it. You just want to escape it. Or the slave Epictetus turned philosopher, one of the most famous Stoics, he wrote in his discourses a small passage that will help you understand how to think like the Stoics, how to turn difficulties into gold. As they say, as Midas touch, they called it the wand of Hermes. Anything that the wand touches turns to gold. And this is the way Stoics saw life. All difficulties were turned to gold with the touch of the Stoic principles. What would have become of Hercules, do you think, if there had been no lion, no hydra, stag or boar, and no savage criminals to rid the world of? What would he have done in the absence of such challenges? Obviously, he would have just rolled over in bed and gone back to sleep. So by snoring his life away in luxury and comfort, he never would have developed into the mighty Hercules. And this is the way the Stoics see life. Difficulties are a sparring partner. We admire people like Muhammad Ali. We admire people like Maya Angelou. We admire people like Kobe Bryant, Marcus Aurelius. But we admire them for the courage to stand up in the face of difficulty. We admire them for turning pain into wisdom that they share with the world. We admire them for turning difficulty into discipline and turning chaos into justice. We admire them because they stood up for what was right. We don't admire them for all their little accolades that they made throughout their life. We don't admire them for the riches. We don't admire them for their success, their followers. We admire them for their inner flame, for their courage, for their temperance, for their wisdom, the things that they control. That's why we admire them. We admire them because despite the darkness of the world, they kept their flame lit. And right now, you might be in a difficult situation. You might be in that dark place and you feel like giving up, and you feel like it is hard to keep your goodness. It is hard to keep your flame lit. And it feels sometimes that it is too hard and you want to give up. But that is exactly why you shouldn't give up, because it is hard. The fact that it is hard means that you're still in a fight. A 2-hour workout is easy if you give up at the first minute, but you don't get any benefit from giving up. In fact, you get worse and worse. Just 1% every single day, 1% increase every single day in a year is a 37x increase. So you're 37 times better, according to James Clear in his Atomic Habits. And 1% worse each day will leave you at like 0.003% of what you could be. So these little steps every single day make a huge difference. The decision to be good every single day makes a huge difference. It is not great acts that make you great. It is the little choices every day to keep your flame lit within the darkness. Every single day, Kobe Bryant had to decide to choose discipline over comfort. And he would have been faced with so much comfort. He was successful. He was one of the greatest basketballers ever. He had made it. He could have gave up at that point, but he chose discipline every single day. And it is that 1% increase every single day that made him so great. Muhammad Ali, it is that decision every single day to stand up for what was right that made him so courageous, made him so admired, made him so loved and adored by millions. Because those decisions every single day are what make you. If you make one courageous act one day and then the next day you do the opposite, if you're very disciplined one day and then the rest of the year you're not disciplined, that doesn't make you a disciplined person. That doesn't make you a courageous person. That just makes you a person that had one day of a win. But don't feel like you have to do some great achievement every day. It's the little wins that are the great achievement. It is when you're faced with the decision to choose good over hedonism, when you got to choose what is right over nihilism, when you got to decide that you'll keep your flame lit over giving into the darkness, when you do those little steps every day, and it can be in the small choices of not reaching for that snack when you feel a bit agitated, and not scrolling TikTok when you feel a bit uncomfortable. Because these are the cues. When you are going to do something difficult, when you're facing your challenges, when you're facing your demons, it is uncomfortable. And you get agitated. You want to grab something to escape. And your body just craves any form of escape, whether that's through going to the shops, getting a snack, whether that's scrolling TikTok, whether that's a drink. Whatever your escape is, you have to notice it. Because when you're doing that thing, when you have to send that email that you've been avoiding for weeks, if you sit there and go to send that email, you start to notice that you get uncomfortable. And then you start to get ideas. Maybe I just need a snack. Maybe I need to play this game. Maybe I need to go on Netflix. Maybe I need to go on TikTok. Maybe I need to talk to some friends. You start to get these little impulses. And when you notice these little impulses, you just have to sit there. You don't have to do anything. You have to show yourself compassion. Understand, although you're telling yourself it's not a big deal, it's only an email, it is a big deal because your body is doing anything to escape that. Some part of you is doing anything to escape that. So it's the small wins. Every time you decide to sit there and face the problem, that's a win. And when you do that consistently every day, over time, you become someone great. You become the kind of person that does that thing. Because it is hard to be good in this world, especially when everyone around us, the people we look at, seem to get the exact thing we want. They seem to win when they're not good. They take shortcuts, they cheat, they lie, they steal, but they get exactly what they want. But that's the thing about life. The vessel is not filled from the outside. The vessel is filled from within. It's not necessarily a vessel to be filled with water. It's a vessel that is filled with light. And you keep that light lit, you keep that fire burning from the inside. From deciding to do good. From deciding to make the right steps every day. Those little choices keep that fire lit. And over time, keeping that fire lit, you'll become someone that does these things naturally. You become that good person you know you can be. You become that great person you know you can be. And after a long time, that light will start to shine on into the world. This is the way the Stoics saw things, is you give your focus to your inner world and you expand it and you expand it and you expand it. And that's why we admire these great people, because that light was lit, spreading into the darkness. It was a beacon of hope for people around them so that other people can look towards them and go, I want to be like that. So in this very moment, you feel like giving up. You feel like it's not worth it. You feel like reaching for that vice, that quick escapism. You feel like, what does it matter if I give into that thing? It matters a lot. It matters more than you can imagine. That win, that little win on deciding not to do that thing, that little win on deciding to just sit with the problem, that is life-changing, because our life only exists in this moment. So if you're winning in that moment, then you're a winner. And if you follow that path, you'll live a life as a winner. So the sparring partner, as the Stoics say, each problem is exactly like a sparring partner. that God has given us to teach us. If you want to be a good boxer, you want the best sparring partner. And the best sparring partner is going to be difficult to fight. They're going to hurt you. They're going to knock you down. It's only when you've been knocked down that you can learn to stand up. And when life hands you these difficulties, it's because it expects more of you. Virtue demands more of you. It doesn't demand these things from the weak because they give up straight away. They don't see the fight. You're only struggling because you're still in the fight. You're deciding that you want to be better. You're deciding that you know there's more to your life. So you're staying in the fight, and it is only difficult. If you give up now, it'll be easy. But what would have become of Hercules if there was no monsters to fight? Well, nothing would have become of Hercules, and nothing will become of you if you waste your talents, you waste your God-given gifts, what the universe has instilled in you. You'll waste that if you give in. So it is a fight worth fighting. And I'm staying in that fight, and there's days, there's days where you keep following these ideas and it gets hard, and you think, well, if I just give in, I can have an escape, I can have that thing. I can get what everyone else gets. I could steal, I could cheat, I could cut corners, but that will not lead to a happy life. That will lead to momentary pleasure. So there is no excuse. It is these little steps. There's no excuse to not work on your dream. There's no excuse to be the good person you know you can be. There is no excuse to step outside your comfort zone. There is no excuse to start that business you want to start that venture you want to start, do the things you want to do. And I don't like seeing people say, I don't have time. There are probably people out there that don't have time. But if you're saying you don't have time, just look at your screen time on your phone. And if it is over 2 hours, if it is over 3 hours, then you have time. And a lot of people, when I say this to people, they say, yeah, but I need that break. I need that self-love. That is not self-love. That is not a break. That is escapism. And it is further perpetuating the problem. The problem that you're avoiding remains. But you're just going around it, and you become a person that avoids this problem. You become a person that needs instant gratification from your screen. It is just an escape. Yes, the phone can be used as a tool, but if it is over 2 or 3 hours, then you're using it as an escape. Did those 3 hours serve you? Did the hundreds of hours over the months and years, do they actually serve you? They don't serve you. You serve them. You serve your vices. You serve your phone. It is your master. When you feel a bit weak, it will come along and say, hey, go on me. Use me. Give in to this vice. Because it's just a quick escape. It will keep you stuck there, escaping the thing you know you should be facing. It just takes one little moment of courage to face that thing. And in these little moments of courage, you become the courageous person. If you haven't got time to spend with your kids, if you haven't got time to spend on this business idea, if you haven't got time to spend on your health, pursuing your goals, and I'm not saying, I don't care if these things are important. I'm not saying what you should be doing with this. But you know when you sit in bed and you feel guilty that you didn't do these things, you feel bad that you didn't do these things, you feel like you're wasting your life, you feel like you're wasting your talents. If that's what's going on inside your head, that you're not being the good person you know you can be, you're not living in accordance with the Stoic virtues, you're not living in accordance with your virtues, your principles, you're not being the person you know you could be, if that's going on in your head, then stop making excuses. Stop saying you don't have time. You do have time. If your screen time is even over an hour of TikTok doesn't serve you. Maybe a few minutes. Maybe sometimes you do need that escape. When you're right in the fight, it is nice to have that little break. But then you've got to get back in the fight. You have to do it for you. You have to do it for the people you love. You have to do it for the world around you. Because you're far much better than scrolling your phone every night. This sparring partner that life has handed you, it wants to fight. It wants to teach you something. So get back in the fight. Just those little wins. Just the decision not to pick up your phone after this. After you've watched this, just don't pick up your phone. It's one little win. And it's those little wins every single day. I really recommend reading Atomic Habits because it makes you understand there is no great win. The great win is just in the moment, the little steps that no one notices, but then suddenly they go, wow, Martha's very courageous. Martha stands up for what is right. Martha doesn't procrastinate. Martha lives in the present moment. Niall is so wise. Niall is so just and does the right thing all the time. People look at them and go, it's easy for you to say you're courageous. And they don't see there was those little moments of courage, those little moments of wisdom, those little moments of deciding to face the sparring partner, to step back into the fight. It's those little moments that will make you great. To never ignore them. There is no step too small. I learned that one from Paw Patrol. Yeah. Hopefully that helped. It's something that helps me a lot. And if you want more lessons like this, just click subscribe, because I'm teaching lessons like this all the time. And I'm having conversations with people like this all the time. And I know they can help you. I'm not doing anything new. There's no wisdom, there's no knowledge that is new here. This is ancient Stoics. This is what I learned from Epictetus, who was a slave turned philosopher over 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, the last great emperor of Rome. It's the same stuff, but this helps. And I'm just using my voice to share it. So follow for Stoicism and have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. I just want to say a quick message to anyone that's read my book, The Everyday Stoic. I just want to say thank you for everyone leaving reviews. And if you haven't yet left a review, so you listening right now, you've read my book and you haven't yet left a review, if you want to give back something to me, please leave a review. It helps more than you can know. And I like reading them. It's wonderful. So thank you and have a wonderful day.